Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanim. So let's jump right into these articles here. We have a whole lot about XRP, but we're going to start here. This affects all of the bank coins. Let's talk about this article here on cryptodaily.co.uk, and it's titled ECB New Report States Crypto Could Reach a Systemic Threshold Threatening Financial Stability. Is that so, European Central Bank? So we threaten financial stability. Wait a minute. Are we the ones who have been printing money like it's like our lives depend on it? Is that us? No. Wait a minute. It was you, the IMF, the ECB, and all the rest of your banks, all your central banks, the Fed, printing money, just giving exponential growth to the world debt. That's something that you don't even touch on because you're so afraid of the people to find out about the global debt, the world debt, and what that means when they finally have to address it. You see, you've done a good job pulling the wool over the people's eyes, and you're trying to do this switcheroo where you say crypto is the problem. Really, it's not crypto. It's your banking system. Your banking system is terrible. You know it and I know it. But let's get back to that. So you and your colleagues, your peers, have been printing money like it's nothing, irresponsibly. And if you say that that's not true, well, then you're saying that the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva is telling a lie. Would Kristalina Georgieva, the head of the IMF, tell a lie? Absolutely not. And Kristalina Georgieva called you out. You were in the front row, by the way, Miss Lagarde. I have respect for you, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to call you out when you're saying something that's erroneous, when you're saying something that's just not true. I'm going to call you out. Now, Kristalina Georgieva said it was like not we, but she was talking in reference to you and your groups, were like kicking the ball down the road and being irresponsible with the printing of money in the world. You all flooded the world with money. Not only that, you've been propping up those weak banks as we see now. Those banks are terrible and weak. They're a financial threat to everyone who uses them. They've been getting hacked. People's identities are getting stolen. I showed my people the articles, so we saw the truth. There's bank runs everywhere. Every time you people have a problem, your banking industry has a problem, they lock the people out of the banks and they shut down the ATMs. There's been bank runs in the United States. At the worst of times, your system is weak. At the worst of times. So there's been bank runs in the United States. There's been bank runs in New Zealand, Australia. They shut down. People couldn't get their money. There's been bank runs recently in Canada. Now there's bank runs happening right now in China, all around the world. So, but where's the risk? People's entire lives are in your savings accounts, which are terrible, by the way. That's another thing. Your banks are the ones robbing everybody, and you were jealous of crypto. Because crypto is giving people insane returns on investment, insane staking returns on investment and everything else. APYs, your governmental entities are the ones that put a stop to that. Remember when Coinbase was going to give people insane returns on investment, or not ROIs, my apologies, but like annual percentage yield. And then the SEC stepped in and Coinbase backed off and said, whoa. Remember that? You're the ones injuring everybody. You're the ones with the savings accounts that are allowing the fiat to die. But who's killing the fiat? Your central banks, your commercial banks are killing the fiat. So you're telling the people that to trust you and keep their money in your savings and checkings accounts. Meanwhile, fiat is getting murdered by you because you're printing it so much that it has no value. Not only that, you see what's going on with Russia and the BRICS nations, who are now coming up with a world reserve currency that they're going to peg to gold. What happens to your fiat that you want everyone to trust? What happens to your fiat when the BRICS nations peg their central bank, their CBDC, to gold, and yours is backed by nothing? What happens to the fiat then? Will the people be able to trust you then? Are you even going to address it? I bet you won't. Not until it's the last possible second. You're going to keep trying to pull this switcheroo on the people and keep pointing your finger at crypto when really you should be pointing the finger at yourself. But let's read this little tidbit from these individuals. See, you can pull those games with a lot of people that they don't have time to read. I get it. They're going to work. They're working hard. They're tired. You keep them worn out in life. That's your techniques. All those large business institutions and banks and all these governmental entities, they put the pressure on the people and wear them out. So they don't have enough energy. So now When they get home, they just turn on the TV and watch the news, and they're hoping that you're telling them the truth. And so they just accept what they hear. But not all of us. I definitely don't. I do the reading. Even if it's my last bit of energy, I'm going to do some research, because I know it's better to know for yourself. So then a report entitled "A Deep Dive into Crypto Financial Risk." Oh, we're such a threat. The bank coins are no threat to anyone. Matter of fact, the bank coins are what's going to save everybody. XRP, Algorand, Cello, HBAR, Quant. That's why they don't get the publicity. That's why they get attacked. That's why, nobody really likes to talk about them. They're the ones that stand to rescue everybody. The bank coins. I don't know about the rest of crypto. Don't care about them. But when that generational wealth comes in, guess what? Those holders of XRP, XLM, Algorand, they don't have to participate in your systems anymore if they don't want to. Anymore. They are free. They get to fly away free like a bird. That's what you don't want. You're trying to contain that. You're afraid of that. You want your systems to be the only ones to benefit. But that's not going to happen. We're not going anywhere. You can't buy us. You can't break us. And that's another thing you fear. You've never seen this kind of strength before from a community. Ever. You really don't like that they call themselves the XRP army. You hate that. I've seen what you wrote. I've read the emails you've sent. I know. Because see, that mentality of being soldiers, warriors, means they're not going anywhere. They don't break for anybody. They don't take a step back, and they haven't. You can't shake them or break them. You're so afraid. I love it. I smell the fear. I feast on your fear. Let's I'm having a good time. See, that's another thing they didn't expect to go up against warriors who actually get a rise out of the fight. They didn't expect us to be here. Look at all the YouTubers. Let's just take the YouTube community, right? The crypto community. Every YouTuber that has remained in this drought, in this red time of bloody markets, most of them are warriors, right? You notice that? They don't take a step back. I love it. I love every second of it. Let's move on here, right? We got another article. I touched on that one enough. Let's move on to this next one here on U.Today. I hope everybody out there is having a good time. All right. U.Today. Ripple partners up with a major Web3 company to bring XRPL NFTs to Cross Towers Marketplace. Every day, the bank coins have an announcement. Every day. Utility coins have some major announcement. You see how it's going? We're still growing. Look how powerful we are. And every time we take a step up, we grow, that means there's more possible money coming in. That's what it means. As you grow, the opportunity for more money is there because you're moving into new region. You're opening up new corridors, new lanes of capital open up to you. Now it's just a matter of whether we can capitalize on that or not, right? So here you have it. Read this little tidbit. One of the world's largest Web3 companies and renowned crypto payment system have joined forces and entered into a partnership in the NFT field. You see, everybody wants in on those NFTs because, like I said, I when I think NFTs, I always think real estate first. I do. Tokenization of debt. If you can get in early, right? If you get in early, you're going to be the ones who benefit the most, right? So I'm not just thinking about that in terms of retail investors and such like that, but the companies know that. So let's say here, I believe that they're going into India, right? Look at the real estate in India. Look how the economies are growing in India. You have more businesses being opened every single day. So you're getting in early on the tokenization of everything. That's a lot of value that you can possibly tap into. So when you think NFTs, as I continue to iterate, do not think pictures. Don't get me wrong. They're bringing the fine art industry. A lot of my peers, I have a lot of love for a lot of people. I was in the fine art industry for a long time. They're going to bring that over, and that's big money. No doubt about it. But when people think NFTs, they're thinking about, what's that? What are those NFTs? Something, ape yacht clubs and stuff like that. Like, I don't dabble in that type of thing. But a lot of people know it because of ape yacht clubs and bored apes and things of that nature. But that's not what I think about when I think about NFTs. I'm thinking about real estate value floating across that blockchain. I'm thinking about the tokenization of debt. Just look at how much debt is in the world. Debt is being purchased all the time, right? So like, I know a lot of you have heard about like how China used to purchase these giant chunks of debt from the United States, things of that nature. That's big money. So the tokenization of debt is there. Like this, there's big money in that people are not thinking about. But this is what I believe a lot of companies are thinking about. The tokenization of all things, right? Payroll moving across the blockchain. Never forget about that payroll moving across the blockchain. The tokenization of different things within the metaverse, right? As that takes form, and we see that even banks are getting on board now with being able to hold meetings within the metaverse in the future and building on that idea. They're listening to individuals who are willing to set up infrastructure for them in these different virtual worlds because they know it's going to save them money. But with the metaverse, you have to have, I mean, everything's going to run based on NFTs. So let's, like even something simple, like you want to buy a particular chair, right? Well, real companies are going to be selling their chair designs within the metaverse. But here's the thing. See, it's not going to cost them as much to produce this particular chair, right? As it would the physical thing in real life. So, but they're going to sell it at the same price, if not for more, right? That's how it's going to work. So they're making an exponential amount of money while saving a gargantuan amount of money. You see how that works? So they all want in on it. Right. So let's move on to this next article here. So Ripple does it once again. Ripple is doing an amazing job. I hope they continue. Well, let's continue on to this article right here. This one is on the cryptobasic.com. This goes as such. Attorney Jeremy Hogan says SEC is dragging Ripple's lawsuit backwards. It seems like every day someone comes out and says exactly what I've been saying. Didn't I say they're stalling for time? I said that in a regular subscriber video, and I said that in a members only video. They're stalling for time, biding their time. Says they're dragging the lawsuit backwards by attempting to hide everything. It's a stalling tactic. That's all it is. They're losing. Attorney Jeremy Hogan, a partner at Hogan and Hogan Law Firm, has slammed the Securities and Exchange Commission. Slam him again, sir. Give him 2 body slams and a Macho Man elbow. Wait. Should we go with a Macho Man elbow or a People's elbow? Oh man, I'm showing my age now. Half the people don't even know what a Macho Man is, you know, or a People's elbow. What's that? Who's the wrestlers they might like today? I don't watch wrestling anymore. Like what, WWE wrestling? John Cena? I don't know. But anyway, the outspoken attorney noted that the case is, whoa, I can't say that word here. It's backwards. He used the word for a hind part. He's getting serious on this. He wants XRP to take off also. I feel you. I get where you're going with this. The outspoken attorney noted that the case is bleep backwards, following the SEC's efforts to hide everything. According to Attorney Hogan, the SEC is changing the narrative with its continuous request to keep things away from the public. Normally in these cases, here's a quote. Normally in these cases, it's the company that wants to hide things from the public, Attorney Hogan said in a tweet. However, the SEC has been the party seeking to keep things away from the public since the beginning of the lawsuit. Of course, 2 things. Number one, I'm pretty sure, as we heard and we read, not heard, but we read that there was a individual who notified at that time the head of the SEC or one of the heads of the SEC that there were certain illegal things going on. That's what that person said within that document. Remember, we read that, although we haven't been hearing a lot about that. So according to that, if we go by that logic, then there's illegal things that possibly could be taking place. Possibly. They would not want you to know about that because that's going to come back to bite them. Not only in this case, but remember I said this case sets a precedent for everything else that is to come. And since the SEC is trying to take so many different companies to court, that could be used against them. So they're going to try to hide everything that they can, seal everything that they can. It doesn't matter if this current iteration of the SEC did it or the one before them. It makes no difference. That is going to set the precedent and be used against them legally. So this is what they don't want. So that's one reason why. Another reason why I believe 100% is that they're walking lock in step with the legacy system. The legacy system has so much power within the government. They pretty much run the government. And they want Ripple to be held back for a myriad of reasons. And I believe that this is why this particular thing is happening, right? Ripple, listen, if you look at how everything is going, you look at the weakness of the banks, how they have been just destroying themselves. They're propped up right now. So they're giving you the illusion of liquidity. I said this months ago, the illusion of liquidity. Right. So now, so they're taking this stance, with the Fed as a central bank. Well, we're going to raise basis points. OK, that looks good. But at some point, what happens when you have to turn that money machine on? So the problem is it's only a temporary solution. The problem just keeps cycling itself. So right now, the pendulum swung to the left. Right. We go into a recession, maybe. Oh, we're already in a recession, really. They just haven't acknowledged that. I told you that it really is stagflation, and we're going into a deflationary period. If they continue to do this, I think they're going to raise the basis points again equally to what they did before. So there's a possible deflationary period, which would be absolutely terrible, but we'll keep an eye on that. But at some point, they're going to turn the money printer on again. And so you arrive at the same point once again, unless they change monetary policy and act with some discipline. But if they haven't acted with discipline thus far, then why would we assume that they're going to act with discipline in the future? Nothing has changed. The people that run the Fed haven't changed. 1, their monetary policy hasn't changed. 2, and thus their thinking has not changed. So, we'll keep an eye on that, see what happens. But there's a myriad of reasons why this case is taking place. The SEC is walking lockstep with the legacy system, in my humble opinion. And this is what we're witnessing. Let me circle back around with this last article here. Back to what the ECB was saying, about, crypto being a threat. Your fiat currencies are a threat. European Central Bank, Fed, Bank of International Settlements, IMF, and all other banks. Dealing in fiat currencies that are not backed by gold. You see, when an asset is not properly backed by something solid, something that can hold them accountable to what they're printing, they print too much. And that's why they've been able to just print as much money as they want to, which has been a boon to them in the short time, but is going to be a large cannon-sized wound for them to bleed out from in the future. That's the problem. So fiat currencies are highly vulnerable. So now you have this article here on cryptonomist.ch, en.cryptonomist.ch, right? They've been doing a great job lately. So head over there and check them out. This article is titled, Russia is ready to accept international payments in cryptocurrencies. So you have, and if Russia is doing this, all of the other BRICS nations, I think, are going to fall in line. You see what VeChain did the other day with China. So China has no problem with cryptocurrencies that it deems, that it deems okay. I'm just going to put it that way. I couldn't think of a better word. My apologies. Sometimes I'm eloquent, sometimes I'm not. I just try my best, that's all. And we continue to move forward. But VeChain is in China. That means China will be open to other cryptocurrencies that come into compliance like VeChain did with whatever their standards are. You have Russia saying that they're going to be accepting cryptocurrencies for international payments, which is something that they can definitely do. And there's nothing anybody can do about it, especially if crypto is actually decentralized. If it's decentralized, then anybody can build on it, correct? It means anybody can use it. Now, with that being said, so you have that coming. The advent of cryptocurrencies being utilized en masse by the BRICS nations. Then on top of that, the BRICS nations are also trying to come up with a CBDC that's backed by gold. Which means what? That means all other fiat currencies that are not backed by gold are vulnerable. That's what it means. So while the ECB is constantly trying to pull crypto down, you're fighting the wrong individuals. You're fighting the wrong things. You should be paying attention to what's coming and what's going to happen to your fiat currency. Because if they come out with that CBDC backed by gold, theoretically speaking, that would be massively damaging to your euro, the value of your euro, as well as the value of the US dollar. And also that would call into question the US dollar's power as a world reserve currency and a world standard. And that's something that not many people are talking about right now. And if it is as devastating as it seems like it could be, then you would be looking at a massive collapse. That's something you need to start planning about. You might want to start talking to the people of the world about, really, since they have most of their value stored in your weak fiat currencies. Crypto is not your main problem. It's not. Your fiat currencies are. Your monetary policy is. That's why we on this channel and in the members only section have been keeping a close eye on your monetary policy. And so far, it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. I put out a members only video this morning. You definitely want to check that one out. We're in the doorway. We're in there. That's all I'm going to say. Entry level membership, click that join button. It supports the channel, but you want to see that video for sure. Time is coming. We're doing well. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money. I had to switch it up a little bit. I got to keep you off balance. I like to be unpredictable. Let's get to the money.